Let me now move on a little bit about the G20, which the entire globe is looking forward to, India particularly looking forward to, people looking forward to. But we are talking about a summit. The genesis of that summit was through a crisis. And look at where we stand today. The world today has a multi-fold crisis that we are looking at, be it food, fertilizer, fuel. Three very aspects that you've spoken at length about on various forums. Let me begin by asking you, what is it that the world can look forward to as far as India's presidency is concerned? What is it that we are offering them?
See, I was a professional diplomat for 39 years. Then I worked in the international system. For want of a better term, I'll say I was an international think tanker. Okay, then another 6 years, 45 years. Okay. I have gone through an India which was much more hesitant. We always, when we speak on behalf of India, we want to sound positive, we want to portray the best. But what are we discussing here? It's a very different ball game. I reminded someone the other day in an interaction of this kind that the Honorable Shri Rajiv Gandhi, he decided along with other leaders of the developing world to set up a group called the Group of 15. What was the purpose of the Group of 15? This was 1989, right. 9th Non-Aligned Summit. To have a dialogue with the industrialized world. So they wanted to get a group to have a dialogue. Hey, wait a minute. Today, 1989 ko chhod ke, abhi dekhiye kya? Your Prime Minister is heading the G20. He goes and addresses the G7. He doesn't need the support of other developing countries. But the other sea change. What you are doing in India today, much of your achievements, and I can list them out. You know, what percentage of digital was part of the payments as a percentage of GDP in 2014? Little bit. How much is now? Massive. What are the other things you're doing? Some of your experimentation in urban, I mean, read the declaration of the Urban 20. I mean, they're looking at India as an ideas provider. Then you look at what you're going to be doing on biofuels. You look at what you're doing. The major difference is that India is succeeding today. Right. Because India is succeeding, many countries in the world are saying that the success of India in those sectors, the World Bank says it, the Gates Foundation says it, those things, those projects need to be replicated in the global south on a larger scale. That is India. Now, whether it is your success in sector A, B, C, D, take your pick. I mean, I was in, I think, Pune recently, and there was the African minister who, they're having an African summit on climate. And she requested that, you know, we would like to learn from India what you have done in the case of biofuels. Yeah. So I immediately put together a delegation. I can recall offhand Praj Industries, several others. They visited them and say, hey, some of them are in Africa. Hey, in 2014, your biofuel mix was 1.5%. Today, you are looking at a 12% biofuel mix. And the rate at which we are going, you need 1,000 crore liters of ethanol by 2025, and you're going to get it. You're talking about 1% sustainable aviation fuel, ethanol mix. Right. You know, the sky's the limit. And you know, when you grow in biofuels, you're also adding to your, complementing your agricultural sector. This is one, digital, financial inclusion. What you're doing in the case of, you know, SDG 5, women's empowerment. I mean, I can start listing it all. That is the India.
I find one thing very interesting, Minister Puri, is the fact that when you were in Brazil, and the biofuel blending that you essentially spoke about in the past also, the challenges you faced then of bringing it at that point in time to what you're bringing in right now. As I understand, you said that E85 vehicles have already been brought in. We are looking at one challenge which used to be only 20% to up to 85%. Do you believe this is the kind of model that we perhaps want to project and tell the world that a lot of it, what seemed to be absolutely impossible back then, even 2002, 2000, seems to be quite an achievement for India now?
That's the difference that the Prime Minister brings. That's the difference between, I mean, in a simple put, Modi hai to mumkin hai. I mean, it's a fact. I mean, I tried everything. So much so that my friends in the press, including some of your senior colleagues, they used to say, when I used to come from Brazil on a holiday or on consultation, yeah, ethanol aa gaya. Because I was, because it struck me, I didn't know the ethanol story till I reached Brazil, frankly. Because I never served in Brazil, I never served in a country like that. It struck me that we have such a large agricultural sector. We have sunshine, we have, water, we can grow maize, we can grow sugarcane. And Brazil has this fantastic agri-economy, and they have this fantastic fuel economy. You can drive a car into a petrol bunk with a flexi-fuel engine and decide on that day, depending on the price, whether you want 50% or 55% petrol, 55% ethanol or 65% ethanol. Yesterday, but it's a chicken and egg. I had to deal when we were going up to this 10% blending. The SIAM, the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, they turned around and said, "Nahi sir, a 20%. They were also reluctant. Everybody is comfortable when they are making money. It's a very comfortable ecosystem. So I decided to invite my Brazilian counterpart, and I told him, you bring your automobile manufacturers along in the delegation. Knowing fully well, same companies which are selling Toyota and Audi and Mercedes cars here are the ones also selling them in Brazil, and they're flexi fuel. Yesterday, Gadkari ji unveiled, a high improvement on that, something which will run on ethanol and electricity. It's unbelievable what is happening in the world. But it's a chicken and egg story. You will not have these manufacturers coming here till you are able to procure the ethanol. Up to 2014, we could only procure 1.5%. Today you're procuring, I think it was yesterday, about 11.7%. By 31st October, we have to make it 12%. और उसके बाद हमने 2025 तक, we have to make it pan-India 20%. By the way, we introduced an E20 or a fuel mixed 20% with ethanol. We introduced it in April this year. Do you know it's already retailing at 3,000 petrol bunks? This is between April and now, 3,000 petrol pumps are selling it.